Welcome to Life Workshop, where we discuss the forgotten basics. The topic of this episode again is value system part 6. Hopefully this is the last part for value system, although we'll discuss it in some other ways. And again in here we are Mo and Bo, the most favorite host and co-host ever.
Ever.
And before I get started again, please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share in that order. But yeah, when it comes to the value system, this time I want to talk about the presentation, how we present some stuff. Okay, I'm going to get that. There was this TED Talk, I believe it was a TED Talk that I listened. There was this guy. He went and bought 200 items on for like $1 each or less. And then he asked quite a few of his friends, he's a writer, that can you write something about these items? And then he put them back, I think online for sale, with a story to them. And he managed to sell the 200 items for more than that had bought for less than $200, he managed to sell them for more than $8,000. So this was the power of storytelling. That was the whole thing. So they say, make it a story, become more interesting, which is cool. I try to do that. And then, but sometimes we can use it in a wrong way. So that is where I'm going with this thing.
It's funny, my brother-in-law is an advertiser, and that's what he said I have to do if you're going to sell yourself or market yourself or anything like that. He said you have to come up with a story.
I mean, that is true. That is true.
But that's also just Storage Wars, right?
Again, as I said, it becomes interesting. Myself, I'm more interested to listen to a story versus somebody come and lecture me. But
I guess it depends on I guess it depends. Hey?
The only thing is that with the presentation, things can go wrong too. That is when you can get fooled by marketers. So, for example, I'm gonna take it a bit extra. First of all, one is that you buy the item that they sell you a horse or whatever. That this guy that he had bought, one of them was a horse for less than $1, and sold it I think for $20-some, just because it had a good story to it. I don't know what the story was, but they made a good story. So that is how they can fool you. Now, back to this.
Okay.
For example, have you been to convenience stores, this gas station, the convenience store you go, and then the food, or for example, when you're in the airport, there is a food in this nice package, and then with a plastic wrap or nice whatever container.
Sure.
And then the food is just disgusting. One of the most unhealthy, But this is the thing. When they package it, which one do you value more? The packaging, the presentation, or the real value? I understand, for example, you go to a restaurant, some restaurants, you see that the chef comes and, presents that there are lots of fancy names I don't even know that they have put on the food. And the food is tasty, but, also with presentation, sometimes they can make it tastier. I give you that. But, sometimes with those presentation, the food is terrible to begin with. No, it didn't taste good. I have had that experience, and that the chef comes but talks as if this is the best food ever you eat. When I say we are the best host and co-host, that's true.
Oh, Jesus, I hadn't even made that connection. Okay.
But that chef, he comes, and the food, to be honest, was not anything special. It was just a boring food, oh my God. But the presentation was awesome.
That's good he was confident.
Sure. So this is where I'm going with this thing, that how much do we value the presentation versus the real stuff? Do we really, because as I said, this is where we can get fooled by marketers. Yep. Or for example, you buy an item that it has a very nice packaging, but it's a piece of crap.
Yep.
Versus, or or it keep going on in different ways. For example, videos that they have the highest value and they have no value. So the highest number of viewing, but they have no value. Or people that they become popular and they have no brain cell in their head.
Well,
Actually,
Mo,
enough to
hey.
breathe.
Everyone likes cat videos, Mo. So don't even.
Okay, I touched the spot there. But
I get what you're saying though about like packaging, and I don't even understand something like in this world now, especially when they say they want to cut down all those things,
yes,
plastics and blah blah blah, right? And here we are buying these things, and there has so much packaging on.
Oh, and they should
it's
cut
like,
it. It's such
is
a
this?
yeah.
Like, get this stuff out of here. Coffee is like in the huge, like, the Keurig and Cosmos and all that stuff. You know, so much packaging. It's just ridiculous. You know, and it's like it just why?
And this is the thing, you know, some of it really just doesn't make sense. But again, remember this.
But it's all about having a picture on it and having this and like you said, marketing, right?
Yeah.
So they're selling you this thing.
We fall for it though. This is the thing. If we bring these things up as we discuss it, actually we do. I disagree with that. If we don't buy them,
but I have to
change it.
I have to. I need it.
You need the packaging. You can buy
No,
something.
I don't want the packaging. I want the thing inside the package. And to get to the thing inside the package, I got to pay for this stupid thing.
Where I'm going with this, if as general public, we would value different things differently, because remember, the one who purchases it too is one of us. There are no those people. Remember that conversation? Discrimination and... You know, there is no such thing.
No,
it is other stuff.
Those
we
are
do
people
this.
that put things in packaging.
No, and those people.
Yeah.
There is no those people.
Yeah.
If it is other stuff, then we package even other stuff in a different way. I'm important. Sorry, I'm gonna come late for the meeting because I'm just so important.
Well, as long as you wore a tie, we're good. then I know you're truly important.
I remember that. So the moral of the story is this, that we do these things ourselves. If we start to become more real and more honest, things will change. And personally, I really believe there is a huge connection. I believe that, and I will hopefully bring it up in some other podcast, that there is a huge connection. If you're real with yourself and with others, that you will be a lot happier. When you start to present yourself in a different way that you are not.
So you're talking about packaging yourself now.
Correct. It is.
Sorry, we took a shift there.
It's not the real packaging; it's the presentation. Yeah, the presentation that we do. If we are not presenting ourselves the way that we are, then we have been untrue to ourselves, and that will lead us to be confused, and we are not going to have good life. No, that I'm not going to go further because it's going to take it away from the main thing. Actually, I'm going to just discuss this one. For example, this one is a matter of respect versus etiquette. Some people, they have the etiquette, but as far as I'm concerned, they are not respectful. I know one person.
Explain that more, please.
I'm going to explain. There is somebody that I know. Obviously, I'm not going to say the name. For example, this person, he would be one of those that if you see, you think that, I have heard it because a friend of mine said, what a nice person. He's so respectful. He's not. And the reason that I'm saying that, for example, yes, please, come on in. Please take a seat. All of those etiquette things. But when he gets mad, when you say something that he does not agree with, when there is something that goes wrong, not his way, he loses all the respect. He uses foul language. He yells at you. He doesn't care. That is, respect is not that.
I only yelled at you the one time.
You noticed that's one time. But no, this is the thing. And so there is difference between the genuinity and the fake part of it, the presentation. He presents himself, for example, he dresses, of course, because of the type of job that he does do. He dresses a kind of formal, and then when you think, and then he walks and he behaves in a certain way that it just, I'm so important.
Do that again. That was good.
You should watch the video in case you listen. I'm so good. Did you see my tie, by the way? But in honesty, he does that. But at the same time, and you think that he's kind. He's not. This is exactly what I'm saying. No, there is a complete difference. And now I'm going to take it a bit further. Normally, I tell people, I said, do not worry about the words you choose. Worry about where it comes from. So if you want to say something to somebody, do not worry about the words you choose. Worry from where it comes from. What I mean by that, if it comes from the place of love and care, then you know what? Your words will be the correct ones. It will come differently. I'm sure, most likely you have experienced this. With some people, they can be based on the box, they can have everything right, but you don't like them. But on the other hand, some other people, based on the box, they are not really that, right? But they're lovely people.
Mm-hmm.
It is where it comes from. If your mama yells at you and calls you names, you will not hate your mama, normally. Because your mama loves you. But if somebody else does it, if somebody who doesn't love you talks badly, then that things are different. Am I making sense there?
No. What do you mean?
Okay, for example, let's say, if I want to say something.
I just got to say something because it's in my mind, right? If you're being mistreated or abused in some way, whether it's your mom or not, and they say I love you afterwards, they're still abusing you, and that's not okay. I know.
You went to the exception to the rule.
No, it's
no. What I'm saying, let's say, for example, I'm not happy with, let's say, with something, and I want to tell you, Bo, that Bo, you did this. It just made me mad. And stop the way,
just like now,
something like that. Depends where it comes from. If I really care for you, my words and my intonation, my body language, everything will change. Because it comes from a place of love and care. Actually, we had this conversation. You were talking some time ago that said that you wanted to hire somebody, and I'm not going to go into details of it. The way that I talked to you, the words were, if somebody would take it out of the, context, the words were not necessarily the best.
Really?
Yes.
Oh.
I'm going to, okay.
Oh, I didn't
because
really...
I called you a dumbass. I don't know. Okay. Do you want me to remind you about the other words that I chose?
No,
but okay, exactly. But the point was, you know that I care about you. I want you to be successful, and you're a very good friend of mine.
Mm-hmm.
So because of that, it didn't come across, and actually, even you don't felt it that way.
No.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. That and if you think about that, sometimes it is exactly like that. That that in life, we run into some people that they use all the words. It's like a politician that talks to you. How much do you trust them?
Oh, I think not very much. I think we already talked about that.
I think
that was at the beginning of the value system. I think
case closed. This is exactly what I'm saying, that some people, they do all of that, and sometimes some people, they don't use the right words. I mean, you don't have to worry about the words. Again, worry about, do you care about the person? If you look at them and care about them, your words, your body language, and they say in the language, even they say that 14% is the words that you choose, 86% is your body language. But I don't know how they came up with that number, but it's a proportional thing. Okay. Again, we are getting a bit too far from the value system part of it. But again, that is where I'm going. The packaging, the way that you present it versus the real value. Can we think independently and to be able to see the value of this stuff? For example, when I watch, let's say, even this podcast, you're listening, it is not done in the most professional way with some, I don't know, underwriting, I don't know, some other stuff. But does it have value, the conversation itself? I have an accent. I may use some of the words, I could choose a better word, I didn't. But if I make the point come across and the conversation is of value, that is all it is.
Mm-hmm.
Versus somebody who comes with a poetry, I don't know, with nice words and these things, and then what the hell did you say? It just sounded good. you know, again, the presentation versus the real thing. Am I making?
Yeah, because I've listened to a lot of those where they say like, or the video is supposed to be about something specific, right? And then they get talking about, but they don't tell like how to do something, and then they never really tell you how to do it.
I know what they're saying.
You know what I mean? And I may be doing the same thing myself, right? Because I don't remember it exactly, but a lot of these things about like how to make money or life stuff or whatever, but then they don't really tell you how to actually do anything. And
it is more how they make money. You know,
not even, because you don't even know that either. You know, and it's like, well, what are you even talking about? You know, I should say this. I think we run into that as well at times, but I know sometimes you can't tell everyone exactly the instructions, step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It doesn't work that way. But at times it's like, you didn't say nothing. You didn't say anything. You just blah, 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 blah. You said nothing of value to me.
I know exactly what you're saying. Sometimes, it happens, you listen to something or you read something and at the end, what? There was nothing. It was all just simple words. So this is exactly where I'm going, that do we get the values versus the presentation? Somebody comes with a nice suit and, looks very smart and thing, and then talks crap. Mm-hmm. The other one, simple like myself, but talks a lot of sense. But now sorry, I have this cough too. But the moral of the story is that, can we think independently and just find really the main core of the thing? For example, again, as I said, on YouTube, sometimes you see that some videos of, or even some people that they have become popular. I don't want to necessarily give names now, and I will. Some people that if I say
and I will.
And I will. And as I said, that they are the most dumbasses. They have a lot of wrong information. They stole sentences, big sentences from other people. They say them. And they have, unfortunately, a lot of followers too, because the way that they package it, they can fool you. Myself, when I was new to the business, I could be fooled a lot easier. And I have said this several times. For example, I bought a fax machine. It was a bigger one with all of the things that it does. It does do the dishes and cook for you too at the same time while it's faxing. It's one of those. But for example, the guy came, he had a very good presentation. He came over, I think 6 times, each one for 5-10 minutes, not today. But he sold me a fax machine for $11,000. It's a bigger one. And it lasted for a long time. It was well worth it. It was okay. But I bought something better than that afterwards, after that broke, 10 years after almost, for $2,500 and better than the previous one. But it was second hand, used very, not long, for almost, I think, a year or something. What I'm trying to say, the first guy, he was very good at presentation, and I was not very good at understanding at that point. So I fell for it. And I fell for it, and I bought that. But now I'm a little bit more kind of aware of this stuff, and I managed to buy something better than the previous one for a lot less. Or myself, I was fooled into, now I'm going a bit toward the value system, that can we get the core values? For example, there was this person that she was selling insurance. She was very good at manipulating things. And then she sold me an insurance that I lost. Now I'm kind of embarrassed to say $25,000 over time.
Well, insurance is
this is where I'm going with this thing, that a lot of them, that presentation, and we fall for it. But if we stick to the fact, and for example, one of the things that she told me at one point after she had told me that, she said, "Do you want to buy life insurance for your son?" I said, no, not really. "Don't you love your son?"
Whoa.
I said, "I love my son alive, not dead." This was exactly what she said.
Yeah.
"Don't you love your son?" I said, "Yeah, I love him alive, not dead." What is the correlation? At that point, I had got the point. What's the correlation between loving him and wanting him dead so that I get life insurance, or I should buy him life insurance.
Yeah,
And
it's
actually
the
it is-
opposite. That's why you'd have life insurance on yourself so that he can be taken care of after blah, blah, blah.
But life insurance on him.
Life insurance is such a...
No, it's okay. It's okay. But the life insurance on him. Life insurance on him means that he should be dead before I get the money.
I know,
It was,
it doesn't mean anything.
yeah. And I'm not sure what is beeping there.
Uh-oh. Oh, your camera went off.
The camera again went off. I don't know why, but it should not go off. Anyways, we'll continue. Then, but the life insurance part of it, again, I don't, there was no need. But they say yes ladder, that they try to get you 6 yeses and then they sell you what they want. It is a thing in the, if somebody is interested, you can go on YouTube and just find that yes ladder. But anyway, so the presentation, again, was when the presentation, that is where we can fall and we can be fooled. So, but versus the real value. And anyway, another one that, for example, I want to very quickly mention, when we say, for example, people, especially when you're younger, you go for a party and you drink and all that, and then you say that we had such a good time.
Mm-hmm.
My question is that, was it really good? Let us look at the big picture. The day after you got, you ruin your day after, you spend a lot of money, and I don't know. And sometimes when you're drunk, you make bigger mistakes, So when we use the wrong words for them, again, it leads us the wrong way. If we are very honest with our feeling, you know what? Yes, it was a good time at the time. But the day after, I didn't feel good. I wasted a lot of money, and I made a few mistakes. If we are honest with our own feeling, this is where I was going with that thing, just to be honest and not to make a persona.
I like that, the way you said that. It was a good time at the time.
Yes.
I got to remember that one.
And if we use the right word, and I'm not saying don't say that, it was crap. No, when you drink a lot of things, people become better looking, become funnier and smarter.
Yeah.
But the fact is that, yes, at the time is normally good, but then after the fact is not good. And if sometimes we choose the wrong words, we had such a good time. I mean, you had, but how was it after? Then again, it becomes a value system. This is exactly how the mistakes happen. Then you go repeat it. But if you think about that, okay, I made a mistake. I agree I made a mistake. I'm not going to make that mistake again. And that's it. So again, when it comes to value system, that was another one. Where was I going with? As I said, for example, some of the most watched videos or something, or most liked videos, really they have no value to them. It's just there. And sometimes when we think, again, the value system, when we get something, I have seen this, that's what I'm saying, that people that they get something when they have it, then it's not good. If I couldn't get it, it was good. Seldom it happens. But once I remember this person. It's kind of funny. We had gone for shopping, and then this person was looking for a pair of shoe in a certain color. They said, we don't have that. I want the one that you don't have. Oh, I feel so bad that you don't have it. There was another shoe that there were other ones that she liked, but simply was looking for the one that is not there to fall in love with the one that was not there. Am I making sense?
Well, yeah, they wanted a specific one. It wasn't
actually there. Didn't. This is where I'm going with that. The way it was like this. He went and they showed her and then said, no, this shoe is good. And then afterwards, do you have this color? No, I don't have. Oh, I really wanted that.
Yeah, so what?
It was not that. Maybe I'm putting it in a bad way. Not a correct way.
Could she order the color? And just
I don't think so. That was the thing. But she fell in love with the thing that was not there. And I have seen this at times. We do that ourselves. That if it is there, it's available. Oh, okay, maybe I should say this. I have had friends that if I don't know you, you're important and good. If I know you, then you're not that important.
I did that the other day. Not with a person, but with a thing. I fell in love with a thing that I just wasn't going to be able to have. So I understand.
So again, it is the fact that the value system, that how we value the things that we have, or we value the things that we don't have, which actually ends up to become happy or unhappy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You value the
Yeah.
friends and the things that you have, or the friends or the things that you don't have. Then every time, oh, I don't have that. How can I be happy? Anyway, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
get.
you made me sad now. It's like, yeah, I totally did that.
I'm gonna end up again
Oh.
with this question as usual. So as an audience, how much do you value the presentation and the packaging of something? Which I understand it does affect. If I'm going to a restaurant, somebody presents it or package it a little bit, can be nicer. Maybe it becomes a better experience. Maybe. But how much do you value that versus the item itself or the food inside?
Mm-hmm.
How much do you value your friends for the way that they present themselves versus the real friends? The etiquette versus respect. Just to be aware of it, that, do you go for the real stuff or the way that they try to make them look like?
Right.
So, anyways, life is simple. Don't make it complicated. Take care, guys.
Bye.